All right, welcome everybody to another DeKalb County Unites webinar. Today is our small business spotlight that we have on every Friday. Really quickly, what is DeKalb County Unites? DeKalb County Unites is a grassroots movement that happened as soon as the COVID-19 crisis hit. And it was members of Northern Illinois University, the private sector, the government sector, the nonprofit sector. There's about 15 or 20 of us that just kind of came together and talked about, look, there's going to be a huge impact on our small business community. Small businesses are the ones that employ our friends, our family, our neighbors. They're the ones that sponsor every kid's football game and every band concert and bake sale and churches. So we really wanted to see if there was something that we could do to protect such a great resource that our community has. And so we formed an organization called DeKalb County Unites. You can go to DeKalbCountyUnites.com and find out more about us. And what we decided to do was 3 major initiatives in order to drive an economic impact, a positive economic impact to the small business community in DeKalb County. First thing we did was create a website and started populating a bunch of information on there. And we've got, especially around stimulus money and funds that are available on a federal and a local level, so much information is there. So if you haven't applied for any of these or if you have any questions, definitely go and take a look at the documents we've got posted. But you can also reach out on the Contact Us page and ask us literally any question, and we will track down an answer for you. Especially, I got to thank Brian Oster from OC Creates. He has office hours just like I do. My name is Cohen Barnes. I'm with Sundog IT, a small business here in DeKalb County. And we have office hours essentially where you can call us, talk to us, come in, use our technology, whatever it's going to take in order to help you out during this time. We're available as a resource to everyone out there. But we created our website and our social media. That was one thing. The second thing that we did was we got on the horn. And in fact, with the DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation and their board of directors, a bunch of people got on the horn and started calling all the major employers in our county and asked them if there was a way that they could possibly start redirecting some of their spending. So if they were buying something online, let's say, is there a local business that we could connect them with in order to spend that money here locally? As well as a lot of them have budgets that they already determined for the course of the year. Is there a way they could accelerate some of that spending on the local economy? And we had over 50 major employers in our community change the way they were spending dollars and drove a bunch of money into our local economy, which was absolutely fantastic. And then the other thing we did is this webinar series. I think we're on our 20th webinar at this point. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. We host a webinar. Mondays are usually with Frank Roberts and Mark Kerman, and we talk about the PPP and the EIDL loans. A wealth of great information there. In fact, this Monday coming up, there's been some major announcements lately that'll be really cool to talk about as well. So I highly recommend you go and register. You can find how to register for our future webinars at DeKalbCountyUnites.com, as well as all the previous webinars are all recorded and there's links to them as well. So that's us. So let's get started. Today, I do want to welcome, well, first, Courtney Strohacker. She's my right-hand woman on all this. Courtney and I are going to field questions that come up during this webinar. If you want to ask us a question or the panelists a question, just move your mouse down on the bottom of your screen, click on the Q&A button, type in your question, and we'll make sure to get it answered. So thanks again, Courtney, for joining today. And I thought I'd go around the horn here and let our panelists just introduce themselves and tell us briefly what you do or what your business is. And I thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and start with Lizzy, if that's okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Lizzy. I own Lizzy's Pink Boutique in downtown Sycamore, and we specialize in trendy clothing for women. Basically, I mean, we've been here 3 years, so I don't know what more you want me to share, but okay.
How about you, Jon?
Jon Bockman, Bockman's Auto Care, and now Bockman's Truck and Fleet. Obviously, we do automotive and truck repair. You know, we're in Sycamore and DeKalb now. So.
Welcome, thank you. And Maria?
Maria Pena-Graham, Coldwell Banker, the real estate group. I'm a realtor, been doing real estate in the DeKalb area for 18 years now.
Awesome. Well, thanks to the 3 of you for taking time. I know we're all, in fact, everyone has their own COVID-19 story. They're all impacted in a variety of ways, some major setbacks within their business, and then there's some out there that are overwhelmed with a new business. That can be a challenge as well. It's a challenge we all love to have, but everyone knows someone, it's part of a business or something that's impacting them. So I appreciate your time and I appreciate everyone's time that's on the webinar today. So we'll make sure to bring a lot of value to everyone. I thought what we could do is also we'll go around, and I'm kind of curious, how has the COVID-19 crisis impacted you? Meaning, you used to do one thing and then it hit, and has it reduced revenue? Has it eliminated revenue? I've had to close my doors, I've opened doors. And then we'll kind of talk about after that, what new innovative things have you done during this time as well? So first, let's just talk about the impact. I would start with John, if you don't mind. You just muted, John. You muted. There you go.
Yeah, it's so great with technology. When it started, we actually, our revenue, we lost about 50% of our revenue. When the first 2 weeks, we had to close the doors and we shut it, so we made it a no contact type of service. We don't have any customers coming in through the door. We've been doing everything either by drop off but for both locations, company-wide, it went down quite a bit. And then we slowly kind of got back a little bit, where we're down now about 35% company-wide.
Yeah, that's a chunk, no doubt about it. Maria, how about you? What's different?
So for us, we cannot hold open houses any longer. And our office is physically closed, so we're all working from home. So we've all had to do a lot of Zoom meetings ourselves, a lot of webinars. And then the main thing that affected us was that they don't even want children going into homes right now for showings. We can do showings. We didn't completely shut down, but they only want adults in the houses now, and we have to go in with our masks and our gloves. And so it's a little bit more tedious. And the other thing that I've implemented in my business is more live videos.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that. Because you're seeing more and more of that these days, absolutely. How about you, Lizzy? It was one way, and now what are things like for you?
Thanks for having me. You know, right before we actually went into lockdown here in Illinois, we saw our sales in downtown Sycamore here for about 2 weeks. We lost about 90% of our revenue. I mean, people just weren't going out. They were scared. And then, of course, when we went into the lockdown, you know, we were completely closed. Although we have a website, no one was ordering. And we just kind of sat there for a good 2 weeks going, now what do we do? You know, we've got to try to stay afloat. And I belong to a group called Boutique Hub, and it's a national organization that helps other boutique owners, and started selling masks. It was doing great for other boutiques, so we took a chance and we ordered a big order, and that's kind of what we started doing during all of this. I mean, we're still down about 35% of our revenue, but it's, you know, it's helping to fill that void. We now are open for curbside, so that's helping us a little bit. Curbside pickup for anyone that orders online, but it's been tough.
Yeah. So okay, well since you're talking about that, 50% of the revenue, or you shut your doors, everything, no one's buying anything from you. You came up with the idea, your group came up with the idea of the masks. Like, just walk me through that a little bit. I mean, there's masks, but then how did you let people know that they could buy them? How did you let people know that they could pick them up? What challenges did you have to overcome and help them facilitate those transactions?
It's definitely social media, just putting it out there, sharing it on different groups and different pages on our website, word of mouth. I mean, it just kind of spread. I also started calling other people saying, hey, we've got masks. Several businesses, they were like, oh, you've got masks. So it just kind of word of mouth kind of spread. And I mean, now I think we jumped on the bandwagon before everybody else started selling them, which was good, because now sales have definitely slowed quite a bit because everyone's selling masks. But I mean, we're still trying to sell them. We're still going to need them, unfortunately.
How do they do it? So you advertised online. Are you doing electronic commerce, or do they come by and pay, or how's that part work?
So they were paying on our website, and then we were doing pickup in the front of our store, curbside delivery, out to their car before we were supposed to. be open, we would bring it out to their car. And now that we're allowed to be open as of May 1st, they come to our door and we hand them their bag.
Did you have an e-commerce site on your website before this?
Yes, I've always had it, even when the business was in my home. So we kind of had a jump on that.
Yeah, that's great, because there were a lot that didn't and had to pivot. We heard a lot about Square. There's a Square store that was easy to set up, and a lot of businesses started gravitating towards that. And we've talked a lot about on previous webinars too about it's awesome that you did that, because that helped you get through this. Well, we don't know what this next fall and winter is going to look like.
Right.
So I'm hoping there's a lot of people that are learning a lot of lessons right now, and they're going to apply those practices going forward, as well as the social media part, like you were talking about. To not have a social media presence when this hit, that's tough to start one from scratch. But people have, and they've been trying to use it more, but that has been, from what I hear, such a great tool for a lot of small businesses out there in order to communicate with their clients.
And we have Shopify, which is it's very user friendly. We've gone and tried to switch to other companies, and we keep coming back to Shopify just because it is so user friendly.
And when people pick up, they've already paid for everything, so you don't have to do any transactions or anything then, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Wow. Nice job. Way to be prepared. That's great. Maria, how about you? Like what are you doing differently these days compared to how you used to operate?
Well, for me, I did have to reach out more into the social media, really start targeting, like letting people know we're still open, we're still out there for business. Because I can't tell you how many people will call me now and be like, what's going on with real estate? Are you still doing business? And it's like, oh yeah, we're still open. So you have to get the word out. And my office and our company as a whole is doing a big push right now to like let them know that we're doing it safely. We're showing homes safely. We're buying. We have everything digital, which is really nice. So when I go through contracts or listing consultations, we can do it on Zoom. We can do it by phone. Everything is digitally. I have to implement that more in my business now as opposed to meeting face to face. And I gear it towards the person's resilience, I guess, or their anxiety level. If they don't want to meet face to face, I'm not going to force it. If they're comfortable with the phone, that's fine with me too. The biggest thing that we were struggling with, the realtors, is that we can't physically do open houses anymore. And so a lot of us have implemented in our business going live on Facebook or YouTube or whatever media that we can. And we actually schedule it still like we used to, but now it's us sitting in front of the camera and going through the house and touring the house. And one of my clients said to me, he goes, you know what? I like this better. I don't want people coming through my house. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was maybe the new norm for me because I don't have to sit there for 2 hours either. And it's out there, it'll last for a month or so. So people like it. I'm still getting hits on the one that I did. I've done several of them, but so it's kind of a neat thing. I'm seeing, I'm like, oh, maybe this is the new way to do business. So.
Or it could be maybe not the new way to do business. It's when you do an open house, you're doing the physical, but you're also doing the Facebook Live.
Could be.
So you're catering to the taste of everybody, essentially.
Yeah. So so those are the biggest changes for us. Is like it all depends on the clients or the customers' comfort level being around us. But we do take precautions. We have to take precautions when we go in people's homes, when others are going into our homes, as far as wiping things down, booties, masks. So it's changed. It's been a life changer.
Real quick on Facebook Live. Had you been doing a bunch of online videos before this?
No. No.
What was that like?
I was doing pre-taped ones. I was just starting to, and then now I'm like, I have to kick it into gear now. I have to get along. I have to figure out what's going on or how to pivot my business to keep it going. So I'm not comfortable with it still, but you got to do what you got to do. I just, when the camera goes on, there I am.
Yeah, absolutely. But then when you watch a lot of other Facebook Lives, I mean, you realize everyone's just doing it. It's real people, real lighting, real bad hair days. And they're just putting it out there, and it's really coming down to just getting the information out there, I would think. Yeah,
that's basically what it is. Yeah, the wind blowing in my hair, me messing up with the camera. Just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you gotta love it. All right, John, how about you? How have you adapted during this time?
We started offering a no contact pickup and delivery service. So we actually will run people out, pick up their vehicles. We have gloves and wipe their cars down before we get in, and their handles and all the contact points. We bring out seat covers and steering wheel covers, and then we drive it back to our shop. We do the repairs or the maintenance and bring it back to them. I was in the middle of building a website at the time this happened. So we were able to put in, I don't know if you would call it a portal or whatever, but now you can actually pay online. So we can call them up and say, your vehicle's finished. If you want to pay online, you can go onto the website and pay. We can do it over the phone, whatever, but really those are, that we started doing a lot more Facebook posts, and then boosting those posts. We started doing some text messaging that I hadn't ever did before. So just letting people know that we were open, any specials we may have now, we're sending them out through our clientele, but we're doing it through text, email. We've done some direct mail pieces. We're doing a little bit of everything just to let people know that we're out there, we're open. Give them some deals, maybe incentivize them to come in. That first couple of weeks, every once in a while, you pick up the phone just to make sure it's still working.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Are you doing all that yourself? Like who's doing all that marketing for you?
I have some people that help me. Like we have a local guy that helps a little bit with he does a lot of the posting of the Facebook. But I've been doing a lot of the ads. So I've been learning a lot more about doing Facebook ads. Mm-hmm. It's challenging but it's fun to at least try and do something new. A lot of the direct mail stuff we've done, we use a local printer. So trying to keep things locally here too, and not trying to do anything else outside of the area.
Mm-hmm. The direct mail piece, that's something people have ignored for a long time. We've been doing it for a year. We find a lot of success with it because it almost seems like everyone's overwhelmed with electronic and they're not getting any mail anymore. And then some of the younger people, mail's fascinating.
Yeah, like today I went and I got mail, and there was one piece of mail in it. And it seems like lately there is so few pieces of mail that now when I do a direct mail piece, it's going to get seen by people, because you didn't get that. It used to be you get like 20 magazines and everything else in a day, and you just like stand and go through it and throw it all away. Now, it's at least when I send something out, people are seeing it.
Well, I got to tell you, before the COVID crisis hit, your messaging was great. I always see the bumblebee. It just keeps coming up and on social media, or maybe I was getting direct mail too. I don't even know the touches that I got from you, but ultimately you got a good machine going, and it's neat to hear that you've doubled down on that during this time.
We really started spending a lot more in marketing just to make sure that we're bringing something back in. And the biggest thing is trying to track what you can.
You did a cool thing with the get an oil change, give an oil change.
Yeah, we did that.
Do you have that going on, or is that done now?
Right now, you know what? We did that for the month of April, where somebody could come in, and if they want, they get an oil change, and then they could pay for essential workers oil change. Mm. Then we gave away some oil changes for healthcare workers. Actually just not just healthcare, but first responders. So we gave quite a few of those away also.
That's great. We got any questions, Courtney?
We have a bunch of questions. The first one is, have any of you applied for the state grants or loans to stay afloat? And if so, have you received any funding?
I assume he means federal too, I would think, but
I'm sure.
Yeah. Federal or state, anyone?
I have.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
So we applied for the EDIL, the PPP, and also the actual small business loan. And, got the PPP and the EDIL a couple weeks ago, and just got our loan this week.
Really? Oh, so the EIDL loan, you got that? Is that
a couple weeks ago?
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
We applied like that day, like the day that we were able to apply. We applied that day.
Well, we heard, and excuse me for the clarification, so the EIDL people applied for it, and there was, you could get up to $10,000 supposed to be quick cash, totally forgiven. Of course, it took weeks to come, but that was one part. And then you apply for an EIDL loan, and then there would be a loan amount later. Did you get both those then, you're saying? Or?
Yes, I got both of those. Yes.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
But
EIDL, it was only $1,000 per employee. It wasn't the 10,000 like they originally had stated.
Yep, yeah, because they keep changing everything, don't they?
Yeah.
You gotta love how the needle keeps moving. Well, good for you for applying for it, because
good for my husband, because he did all of that.
good for the two of you, because there's a lot of people that didn't apply for anything. Some of it is they just didn't know, we're in the getting the right information sent to them. But it's wonderful to hear that you applied and received it, so that's great. Maria, I don't know how that works with Coldwell Banker. I don't know if you guys can take advantage of that.
Yeah, the realtors are just now coming out with something, and I truly have not had a chance to kind of fully look at it, but that's the next wave, I think, that's happening for us. So
most of the programs are out there for organizations 500 or less, and I would assume Coldwell Banker would be out of that range. John, how about you?
We applied for both the PPP and the EIDL. The PPP was funded on the April 15th, and actually Tuesday, my EIDL just hit my bank account. So it was kind of nice. You open up your account online and you're like, wow, there's a lot more money there than there used to.
Yeah, right. Now the EIDL, was it the 10,000 or less part, or did you get the full?
No, I got the full amount.
That's great, because I was going to say Jock Samiz from the Small Business Development Center has been an integral part of our organization, and he's been looking for that data. So it's great to hear that the actual loan piece now is starting to hit bank accounts. Thank goodness for a lot of people, that's for sure. Awesome. What else we got, Courtney?
So, hi, Mayor Smith. Mayor Smith is on, and he's asking, what major changes in your businesses do you anticipate come May 29th and thereafter? So as we move into phase 3, I know, like we were talking to Jeff Doby at Fatty's, and once he gets to open, talking about even disposable menus and disposable ketchups and mustards and those sorts of things. How, what kind of changes will you be making in your businesses, or have you already? You want to start? John, why don't you start?
Okay. So we've actually already ordered the plastic sneeze guards, or whatever you want to call them. Mm-hmm. So we'll have those on all of our kiosks and front desks. For we'll have we've started moving the seating, so we've actually taken some seats out, tried to move everything, so it's basically in the 4 corners of our waiting area. We're not going to allow to have any more than just one person in with their vehicle. It's just too small an area to have a lot of people come in and wait. Everybody will be wearing masks and gloves, which really isn't, I mean, right now with the door shut, we're not so much wearing the mask, but once we start allowing other people in, where everybody's going to have gloves, masks, we'll have the the hand sanitizer and everything else out.
How about you, Maria?
Well, for us, we haven't really talked about when we're going to start opening the doors as open houses, but I can imagine letting one person in at a time if we go back to live open houses. But the other thing that we are going to, I think, is going to stay is having sanitizer, gloves, booties, the masks, whenever we even go show a house. So that's already implemented, and I think that's going to stay for a while. And unfortunately, kids, they don't want, people just don't want kids under 14 in the houses right now, which is a big change too, which is kind of sad, because kids like to go see where they're going to live next. So I feel bad about that.
It'd be interesting to see when all the, I know it's getting easier to get some masks, some gloves, different kinds of hand sanitizer brands I've never heard of in my life. But it'll be interesting to see when that's more mainstream now, and we all really truly have access to it and can be well stocked. I'm looking forward to that day. Lizzy, how about you?
For us, it's going to be a little more difficult just because of the whole clothing aspect of things. We are going to require people to wear masks. We're still trying to figure out if we're going to actually be open, or more of a make an appointment to come shop. I've done that before, and it's worked for me, but that's when I was in my home before I moved the business downtown. But anytime that anyone tries anything on, I'm going to have to steam it or put it away so that no one else can try it on until it's disinfected. And that, I mean, that poses a huge issue. We have 2 fitting rooms. We'll only use 1. We've looked into those, my husband's at the front of the store, LED, what are those things called, Andy?
Oh, the
Foot sanitizers. So when they walk in, they kind of sanitize. Ultraviolet, there it is. So we're still looking into all of that. We're going to have to do the plexiglass shield at the register, stuff like that. So we're still in the talking phases about it, because it's a little more, people try things on and I can't sell it if they don't buy it. So
I know DeKalb County Unites, we're working on a document about coming back and trying to cater a lot of it to different industries. Just seeing a lot of the best practices that are out there, and more just idea generation for small businesses. So definitely expect to see something like that from us and all the chambers of commerce, because every chamber in the county is part of Unites as well. Try and get a lot of that information out, because I have ideas, and then I was reading one of those and I didn't even think about the couch in our break room. Possibly taping off, you know, parts of that so only one person can sit on it. Because some of us are challenged, like I'm sure some of you, I have some younger people that work here. I'm always like, hey, social distance, hello. You know, almost a little prod to keep them apart. So yeah, we're all gonna have to be looking for a bunch of different resources to figure out how we can do this best and be as safe as possible, for sure. What else we got, Courtney?
So a question for you, Cohen, is the EIDL totally forgivable?
So how this works, there's 2 parts to the EIDL. There was the up to $10,000 that originally happened. The up to $10,000 was totally forgivable. Now what that means though is if you also applied for the PPP program and you received PPP money, and let's just say you got the full $10,000, that'll get deducted off of your PPP money. That's the only time those 2 loans impact each other. But if you just got the EIDL 10,000 and you didn't apply for PPP, that is totally forgivable. But please, 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 I am not an expert. I do not work for the SBA. I am not the law here saying this. I need you to verify every way you possibly can to confirm everything I'm saying. But I will tell you, having been on a lot of these webinars and heard this firsthand, yes, that part is forgivable. And ultimately, it doesn't matter if you got the PPP and EIDL. Just put it all together and just know that when it comes time to forgive your PPP portion, that 10,000 of that is going to be deducted, but you got it over here, kind of thing. So it's the same amount of money when it comes down to it. So yes, but if it's the larger piece, then you got, let's say, $100,000. That is a loan. You will pay interest on that, and that you will pay it back. Only up to the $10,000 was forgivable.
Okay, and then next question is for any of the group, and I'm assuming they're talking about like your marketing. What's the best low or no cost promotions to let people know what you are now doing, and how do you measure those results? So kind of a 2-parter. Kind of your low hanging fruit. What are you doing and how are you letting people know what you're doing? Lizzy, we'll start with you.
Facebook marketing, and that way you can kind of control how many click-throughs you're getting and see who's actually purchasing. That's kind of what's worked for us. You can change your demographics, so you're targeting only a certain person, age, area, and that always works for us. My husband he's always like, oh, you must have just done a marketing, because the sales will start popping up on our website. So that does work well for us.
So do you do the boost or the paid ads or both?
We do the boost.
Okay. Awesome.
And you're right, you can control your daily spend on that, can't you, Lizzy?
Yes. And you don't have to spend a lot.
Yeah, to have quite a large impact.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Maria? You doing, I mean, I'm sure Coldwell Banker is doing a bunch of stuff, but what about on a local level?
Yeah, well, Coldwell Banker themselves, we're independent contractors, so it's all up to us. We're it's our own business. It's what I make it's Maria Pena-Graham brand. And I've always done a lot of Facebook ads and boosts. I'm starting to do more and more and getting the demographics just like Lizzy is, and trying to pinpoint where I can get the most bang for my buck and most views for my listings. And I'll tell you, these videos that I've been doing, the live, I know I hate being in front of the camera, but that's free and that works.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to promote you or your house or listing or whatever it is that you sell, it's a good way to do it.
Absolutely. John, what's been the best for you?
Well, if you're looking at the really low cost, it's email marketing and text messaging. But that's to our existing clientele. So that's a really quick, easy one to get the message out and get an ad out. If you're looking at new customer acquisition, then it's probably inexpensive way would be to do Facebook and social media marketing. That's where I think you can actually start, finding those new customers. You can, maybe take your own customer list and I think they call it, I can't even remember what they call it, but you can copy it, or it's like makes a like image and it will send that out to customers that have the same demographics that you already have. So, usually if people are doing business with you, their friends and family who, share the same likes, will do business with you also. So that's a really simple, easy way to do it. And again, like you said, Facebook is really low cost and you can really control, how much you really want to spend on it.
Yeah, and that's just the boost. There's a whole nother side of Facebook too. If you get into Facebook ads, most definitely. We're a B2B shop, so LinkedIn is good for me. But if you're B2C, business to consumer, I don't think LinkedIn is probably the platform to spend too much time on.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. How about, I'm curious, we've had different organizations on, like Byers Brewery, the Forge Brew House, John McOrchard, all teamed up and started delivering each other's products. And that was a really innovative way that they came up with a way of doing something different. And I think Open Door Coffee was doing something similar with a local bakery, teaming up together to help sell each other stuff. Any of you done anything with another organization at all to either drive exposure or just work together on anything in order to benefit you or benefit both organizations at all?
Not during this event.
Okay.
Or prior events, but not during this.
Yeah, we've heard lots of success, actually, especially the brewers, what they did. It was staggeringly beneficial to them. So there's been multiple instances of that. So definitely be looking around on how could you work together with another org in order to benefit each other. John, you mentioned you did your pay forward oil change. I mean, it's kind of like that, but I don't know if there's anything that you did.
We went out to Carefree Flowers.
You're good. You're good.
I got guys that are working on cars, and it's loud to me. I don't know if you can hear it.
And John, that means there's guys working. So you're good, man. Don't worry about it.
So we went to Carefree Flowers and picked up some flowers and delivered them to healthcare workers over at the hospital and clinics and stuff like that. So that's trying to at least get, trying to pay it forward with another company. And then we also did, the teas for DeKalb County. I think LaPrint was doing something with that. I put a t-shirt in, but the money that comes in from that, I'm donating to community gardens to help,
and Dan Kenny's, yeah. God, what a great org. Oh my gosh.
Have any of you had any issues with any of your customers or clients not wearing masks or not following the orders? I know that's been a question that has been asked a lot of our small businesses.
Not yet. I mean, we're not open. We're only open for curbside, so we haven't encountered that yet. I'm sure we will.
You have a plan already of how you're gonna deal with that, or?
Yeah, we're gonna politely ask them to wear a mask when they enter the store. And if they enter without it, then, we'll ask them again to politely put it on. I told my husband he can handle that. He's 34 years. He's a retired officer, so
oh yeah,
it's your department. But I mean, that's kind of all we can do. And if they don't want to comply, you know, that's a hard one, because do you want to be, you know, in the media as the person that, as the business that is not making people wear masks? I mean, that's a tough one. That's not the kind of publicity I want as a business. But yet I have to keep my workers safe and my customers safe.
Well, you know, you've heard a lot of those people that come in and, you know, this is America, you can't tell me to wear a mask. It's like, exactly, this is America and I'm a business and I can choose who I want to do business with. So if your policy is going to be people have to wear masks, then that's it. We all get to choose that. But we know, I think, Courtney, we've heard some businesses are really scared to enforce it because they can lose a customer. And they're juggling, man, I'm really hurting. I need revenue. And they're talking about possibly caving on that just to get the revenue. And there's no, I don't want to say there's right or wrong here at all, but that's something I think we were hearing. How are you, John? You have you thought this through on if someone refuses to abide by your policy?
You know, I have a few employees that what do you call it? They're more susceptible. So, I mean, if they don't want to wear a mask, then I will just, you know, ask them politely to either stand outside, not come inside. I don't want to not do business with them, but I'm not going to allow them to come in and then where that could actually harm one of our employees.
Yeah. I think a question just came in, Courtney. Yeah. So there's one, it's when you open back up or return to some sense of normalcy, how do you plan to let people know what you are doing to make your business safe for new and returning clients? Yeah, we've had a lot of dialogue about that. How are you going to get the word out that you are a safe business and you are practicing all the recommendations by the CDC or the county health department? What's your plan to let people know you're safe?
I can tell you can I talk?
Yeah.
Okay. For us right now, we're doing a big push on Facebook about being safe, that we're open, we're safe, we're starting to open up slowly and slowly again to let the consumers know that realtors are out there and we're practicing safe social distancing, the mask, everything out there. So it's a really neat thing that they give us the tools to do that with. And then we've also got an email campaign that we can let people know this. So it's a really nice push that our office is giving to us right now, so we can let everybody know it's safe to go look at homes. Basically, that's a campaign. Safe to reopen.
Maria, would you mind sending me some of that stuff if you could forward that to me?
It's all over my Facebook.
It is all that. Well, I've seen the email campaign and all that. Like, I assume you have a machine. I don't know if I'm in your machine. But I would love to look at that, because that's something we could share as like, hey, here's an example of someone that's crushing it. That some others could follow your lead on that. That would be great.
Yeah, not a problem.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
How are you, John?
I think Maria has it right. Basically, letting people know through all your channels that you already have, whether it's text, email, video, just kind of keeping the word out that way, whether you're doing a Facebook Live or, you know, you record something and then you just have it always playing on your Facebook page.
Yeah, I think what we've been hearing from a lot of people, like having a plan, and the plan being, even if it's just on a notepad, I'm going to do a Facebook post. That's right. Oh yeah, I can email out my customers. I'll do that. Oh, you know what? I could text, like you were saying, John. But actually writing out what is it that you're going to do, because not everyone is on Facebook, although there's 2.6 billion active users. Most people are, but they still may not see it, even if you boost it and all that. So just like all the other marketing, hitting people on multiple levels, it would probably be a really good thing, and just, again, planning for it. Lizzy, you got any tidbits there on how you're going to let your people know?
I mean, just what Maria and John said, and, you know, maybe just putting a note in the door or on the door, basically what we're doing. I think it makes it so much easier if, like, our whole downtown district, if we all kind of did the same thing. I mean, that's maybe something that, depending on if you can send out the information you get from Maria, you know, if we're all doing the same thing, that it just makes it easier for that one customer that's going to want to rebel. They know that they're not going to be able to go into the other stores as well. Of course, we all want the business, but if we're all kind of following the same protocol, it just makes it easier.
We had the county health department on a week ago or so, and there's a conversation on there about them actually having here's the 10 things that you need to do as a business, and allowing then us businesses to put their sign up, not the health department saying they've been inspected, but us saying, hey, I raise my right hand and I swear I'm following DeKalb County Health Department's best practices for providing a safe environment. And if we can have that one visual, you know, everywhere, that's going to give people some comfort level potentially that I don't know for sure, but I'm going to walk in the door because chances are they're following practices that are going to make me feel safe when I go in. So I'm really hoping they're going to be able to execute on that.
That would be great.
Yeah. Hey, any final questions, Courtney, at all before I wrap things up?
No, I was just going to say, I just went on Lizzy's Facebook page though, and this is awesome. I mean, this is so easy to use, and your little shop now button. I don't know if you had that before COVID, but we were noticing a lot of the mistakes people are making is it says, you know, that they're closed, either on their Facebook or on their website, you know, closed due to COVID. So there's no way to really know if online shopping is available or not. And and you say closed, but you really are open. So I love that yours says right now that you're closing soon. You're open till 3, that I can shop right now. So great example of a super easy Facebook to use. So other than that, I don't think so. I think, John, one of the questions that probably would only pertain to you with a bigger and more employees is, how are you keeping morale up? And has that been an issue? Are you doing any kind of incentives or?
We, you know, I try and talk to the team quite a bit, and just always being in contact with them, letting them know even like on a weekly basis, you know, where we're at as far as sales, how things are going. Like when I would always like make sure they knew that I was applying for the PPP, I was doing EIDL, I was, you know, applying for all these things that will help the business, doing the marketing, doing the things that we need to keep us viable. And I always let them know, you know, our door's open, you can come talk to me, you have any issues, you have any, you know, is there anything that you need from me also that is going to help you do your job better? Do you need more gloves? Do you need masks? Do you need anything? So just as long as we're always having that dialogue and always keeping in contact with them. You know, there's days you don't want to, like, you know, you get bummed out or whatever, but you got to put on that brave face, and you got to, you know, put on the smile for your guys and for your team.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. Well, any parting thoughts from any of you that you just want to share? Or something I didn't maybe cover that you thought would be of note?
Just coming out of your comfort zone. You know, don't be afraid to do anything, because whoever might be watching you on Facebook doesn't know if it's your first time or your 100th time. And we got to do whatever works.
Yeah, we all have to hustle, and it's a different kind of hustle right now. But yeah, we all got to hustle. All right. Well, once again, I want to thank our panelists. Lizzy from Lizzy's Pink Boutique is wonderful. Jon from Bockman's Auto Care, and Maria Pena-Graham. She's a realtor with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group. Again, thank you for taking the time. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for everyone for joining us. Thanks, Courtney, as always, for helping me out through this. She really does take a load off me and makes it easy. So thank you, Courtney. And that's it. Don't forget, this Monday, though, we're going to have Frank and Mark on again to talk about the PPP and EIDL. And Lauren, that's going to be a great time for you to ask your questions, because Dr. Jacksomies will be on there as well. And we can get an authoritative answer on that one for you. But we'll be talking about the latest changes to the PPP forgiveness piece, which there's some good news there. Besides that, have a wonderful weekend. It's a beautiful day starting this weekend off, and take care, everyone. And thanks again. Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.